Good evening. Tonight, we will drift far away from the present world, beyond traffic lights, beyond glowing screens, beyond everything that hums and hurries. We will travel back more than 400 years to a land divided by war, to a time when a woman's destiny was decided before she could even dream. There were no schools for girls, no freedom to study, to write, or to question. But one young girl in Vietnam refused to accept that fate. Her name was Nguyen Thi Due, and her story is one of courage, disguise, and quiet brilliance. Before you close your eyes, let's go there together. The year is somewhere in the late 16th century. Northern Vietnam is torn between two rival powers, the Mac dynasty in the north and the Le Trien lords in the south. Civil war rages. The land is restless. In a small, quiet village called Kiet Dak, smoke from harvested rice fields mingles with the scent of wet soil and river breeze. In a modest wooden house, a little girl sits by the doorway. Her father is a Confucian scholar, not wealthy, but respected for his knowledge. Books line the walls, thin paper filled with black ink, carrying the wisdom of centuries. At night, she hides behind a bamboo curtain, listening to her brothers chant lines from the 4 books and 5 classics. The sounds are strange and beautiful, like a secret melody. She memorizes them quietly, her mind absorbing every word. Her father notices her curiosity. In a world that forbids girls to learn, he does something forbidden. He teaches her. He shows her how to hold a brush, how to breathe before writing a line, how each stroke of ink must come from both hand and heart. Her mother worries. She loves her daughter, but fear clouds her eyes. A woman with too much learning, she whispers, will only suffer twice. Once for knowing too much, and once for being born a woman. But the girl cannot stop. Her hunger for knowledge burns brighter than fear, and soon she begins to wonder, why must wisdom belong only to men? Why should a curious mind be a sin? One evening, the sun sets an orange fire over the village fields. The girl kneels before her parents. Her voice trembles, but her eyes shine with determination. Father, Mother, I want to study. I will go as a boy. Her mother's hands shake. Her father stares, silent, caught between love and danger. What she asks could cost their lives. If discovered, she would be guilty of deceiving the throne, a crime punishable by death. Yet, in her eyes, he sees something pure, unstoppable. That night, under the pale moonlight, her mother takes the scissors. Black hair, long and soft as silk, falls in gentle waves onto the floor. Each lock is a farewell to childhood, to safety, to everything she once was. Her father gives her her brother's old clothes, loose, sun-scented, a little too big. When she puts them on, her reflection in the small bronze mirror no longer shows a girl. It shows Nguyen Du, a quiet boy with bright, alert eyes. From that moment, Nguyen Thi Du disappears, and the act of her life begins. The next weeks are lessons in survival. Her father trains her voice. Speak from the chest, he says. The sound cracks and trembles until she learns to press it low and steady. Her brothers teach her how to walk with longer strides, to gesture broadly, to look people in the eye. She practices endlessly until even her shadow moves differently. When she finally enters the academy, a simple wooden building filled with the smell of ink and boiled rice, she steps into another world. 20 boys study there, their laughter loud, their manners rough. She speaks little, afraid one wrong note might betray her. At night, when everyone sleeps, She stays awake, writing under the dim light of an oil lamp. Bathing becomes a secret ritual. She pretends she cannot bear cold water, waiting until midnight to wash quietly behind the garden. Every day feels like walking on thin ice, but in class, she shines. Her essays are sharp, thoughtful, and graceful. Her teacher praises her understanding of philosophy. The other students start to notice her quiet brilliance. It frightens her. Too much talent could draw suspicion, so she begins to hide her mind deliberately. Sometimes she answers wrong on purpose. Sometimes she acts unsure. It is the hardest disguise of all, hiding her own light. Years pass. The great provincial examination arrives, the first step toward the imperial exams. Every 3 years, thousands of young men gather in dusty courtyards carrying tents and bamboo beds. Guards check each scholar for hidden notes. She bows low, heart pounding, praying that her disguise will hold, and it does. Inside, the air is hot and heavy. Rows of small exam tents line the field like tiny houses. The drum beats once, the exam begins. She dips her brush, and words flow like water. Hours pass in silence, then days. When results are posted, a river of blue robes crowds the red paper. Her eyes scan the names, and there it is. Nguyen Du, ranked among the top scholars. Joy floods her chest, followed by fear. Now she cannot stop. To turn back would be to expose everything. She must go to Thonglong, the capital, to face the greatest test of all, the royal exam. Thonglong is nothing like her village. Stone streets gleam under the sun, temples rise, roofs curved like dragon wings. Merchants shout, horses clatter. Incense smoke drifts from pagodas, mixing with the scent of roasted rice cakes and river mist. She rents a small room in an alley, lights her lamp, and studies until dawn. Outside, the city never sleeps. Inside, her world is only paper, ink, and silence. When the exam begins, she walks through the royal gates, surrounded by hundreds of scholars in blue silk robes. The king himself sits on the throne. His voice is deep, echoing across the marble floor as a eunuch reads the question aloud. After years of war and famine, how shall we bring peace to our people and strength to our nation? The hall falls silent. She closes her eyes. She sees her father's calloused hands, the tired farmers in her village, the burned fields and hungry faces. And she writes, not from books, but from heart. She speaks of easing taxes, restoring farms, educating children, using talent from all classes, ruling with compassion as well as strength. Her words flow pure and steady. When the drum beats to signal the end, she lays down her brush and bows to the throne. Days later, the results are read before a great crowd. Names echo in order. Then, at last, she hears it. Nguyen Du, first laureate. She has done the impossible. She has become Trong Nguyen, the highest scholar in the entire kingdom. Applause thunders, but as she kneels, she feels the king's gaze upon her. Curious, lingering. His eyes see something others have not. That night, at the victory banquet, the palace glows with 1,000 lanterns. Music drifts softly. The king invites her closer, offering a cup of wine. You speak with wisdom beyond your years, he says, and yet your face is that of a lady. The room falls still. She feels the world tilt. There is no more running. With slow hands, she removes her scholar's hat. Black hair falls loose, shining under the golden light. Gasps ripple through the hall. She kneels, voice steady. I am Nguyen Thi Due. I disguised myself not to mock the court, but to pursue knowledge, because no door was open for me as a woman. If I must be punished, let the blame fall only on me. Spare my family." The king studies her in silence, then smiles softly. "To kill such talent," he says, "would be the greater sin." He pardons her. Though she cannot be recorded as a man in the official history, he grants her a position inside the royal palace, to teach, to write, and to advise. And so, the girl who once learned in secret becomes a scholar once again, this time in the open light. Her new life glitters with silk and silence. She becomes known as the Lady of the Stars, a name given by the king himself. He often visits her chamber to read poetry, discuss strategy, and play chess. Unlike others, he values her mind, not her beauty. But envy grows among courtiers. Whispers spread through the halls. A woman with influence is a dangerous thing. She ignores them all, burying herself in books and teaching the young women of the court how to read, how to write, how to think. Yet peace cannot last forever. Outside the walls, war returns. The latrine armies march north, defeating fortress after fortress. The king's calm begins to crack. Banquets disappear. Maps cover the tables where poetry once lay. You sit beside him, tracing roots on the parchment, offering advice. But no wisdom can stop an empire's fall. One night, the bells of Thang Long ring in chaos. The enemy is at the gate. Papers burn. Soldiers shout. The king dons his armor. He looks at you, eyes weary. "Forgive me," he says. "I cannot protect this peace." He tells you to flee. That is the last time you ever see him. The palace burns. Screams echo through the corridors. You are dragged with hundreds of others, princes, ministers, concubines, through smoke and dust. Jewels ripped away, names forgotten. Days blur into hunger and fear. You march south as a prisoner, barefoot on the road you once traveled in triumph. Villagers watch, some curious, some furious. They throw stones, spit curses. You lower your head. You understand. The war took everything from them too. When you reach Thang Long again, the third time in your life, it is as a captive. You are brought before the new rulers, Lord Trin Trang and the Lei King. They question you about your past. At first, you lie, calling yourself a lowly tutor from the fallen palace. But one minister frowns, recognizing your name. "Nguyen Thi Due," he says, "are you not the woman who once became a scholar among men?" Silence. You close your eyes, then lift your head. "Yes," you say quietly, "it is I." Instead of condemning you, they test you. Not with weapons, but with words. They ask questions of philosophy, governance, and history. You answer each with calm precision. The court murmurs in awe. The Trin Lord finally speaks. To destroy such wisdom would be to offend heaven itself. He spares you, and once again, you are appointed as a teacher to educate the noble women of the new regime. Twice captured, twice spared, twice saved by knowledge. Years flow like a slow river. You grow older. Your students call you Madame Le Quang, the gentle teacher. You teach them not just how to read, but how to think. You show them that grace and intellect can live together. Many of your pupils are daughters of lords, but under your care they learn kindness, curiosity, and compassion. You age with dignity. The hunger for power that once burned in you has softened into calm understanding. You no longer dream of fame, only of teaching. Your life is quiet, disciplined, peaceful. Sometimes, during rainy afternoons, you sit by the window, sipping tea, watching the rain streak down the paper walls. You think of the girl from Kiet Dak, the brave, stubborn child who dreamed of learning. You think of Nguyen Du, the boy you created, his courage, his solitude. You think of the palace, the king, the fall, the prison, the classroom. So many lives, all yours. And through it all, only one thing never changed: your love for knowledge. When you are past 80, frail but content, you ask permission to return to your village. The Trin Lord, now old himself, agrees with deep respect. He grants you gifts of silver and silk, and a small escort to see you home. The villagers come so to greet you, eyes wide, voices whispering your name like a legend. They call you the Star Lady, the pride of their land. But the faces you once knew are gone. Your parents, your brothers, your childhood friends, all have returned to dust. You build a small house near the village temple. You tend a tiny garden, read old books, teach children who wander by. You do not tell them of battles or kings. You tell them stories of courage, of honesty, of the joy of learning. The girls listen with shining eyes. In their faces, you see yourself, and you smile. One winter night, as the wind hums softly outside, you feel sleep coming. Not the sleep of weariness, but of completion. You close your eyes and see it all at once: the classroom, the palace, the candlelight, the sky full of stars. You see the little girl kneeling in front of her parents, whispering her impossible dream. You smile at her. You kept your promise. You lived a life that proved the mind has no gender, and that courage can outlive empires. And so, peacefully, you drift away. The next morning, the villagers say that a bright star shone above the temple all night. They believe it was your spirit, watching over those who dare to learn. Your name may never have been written in the royal chronicles, but it lives in the hearts of the people. You became more than a scholar. You became light itself. And if, tonight, you look up at the sky and see a single star burning brighter than the rest, remember her. Remember Nguyen Thi Due, the girl who turned knowledge into freedom and silence into song. Good night.